Hey guys, I'm here in association with Good Games Adelaide for a standard game of Monofire against Dave, also known as Mr. Abyssal's Monowind Chocobos. I'll be commentating over the top and talking about the game. I've removed the audio from the video because there's a lot of background noise. I've also tried to cut out a lot of the dead space in the video while we're like shuffling our decks and just talking and stuff like that. Let's have a watch. So Dave won the dice roll, so he'll be starting, going first. And he'll just be playing Charlotta as his first backup. Standard open, one backup. I believe that I do the same. My backup is Mont Blanc, which searches March. I like this March quite a bit. I think it's one of the few things that makes Monofire playable, if you think it's playable. You know, as an EX body, it's kind of like Porom, very similar to Porom, and having an EX search alongside it is nice and convenient as well. Dave, because he went first, he can play a 3-cost searcher and pass. So he'll get Chocobo Knight, which is the main purpose of Chocobo decks, is to abuse Chocobo Knight. That's probably the best card they have. Now, I believe, yep, I play Iroha. So I do have the Red Mage to go with the Iroha, which you'll see shortly. So that sets me up with the Iroha in play with early damage and a blocker against any small Chocobos, like the Haste Chocobo or, you know, Chocobo Knight. If I had any amount of minor burn, I could kill a Chocobo Knight, especially with Iroha's ability and Mont Blanc together can actually kill a Chocobo Knight, although I don't think I end up doing that. As expected, Dave plays the Chocobo Knight here. Because he, oh, I didn't mention he hit the Sid Haze EX, so he searched the Haste Chocobo, because what he's going to do is give the Chocobo Knight Haste so that he can use his action ability straight away and get that free CP by playing a Chocobo from hand for free. That's just me pointing out that he forgot to search. Because he's already paid for the other Chocobo that he's playing, but he didn't search the Chocobo Knight. But this is like a fairly decent start for a Chocobo deck for sure. If you look at the field he has, he's still got 4 or 5 cards in hand, and 3 forwards out already with the decently sized 7k Chocobo. But what's this? Is this Irvine? Is this an Opus 9 card? Oh my god, I'm a cheater. I'm playing cards that aren't out yet. But this is my spoiler for this set is Irvine. You can see him there. We'll talk about him a bit at the end later. But we'll go back to the game for now. You can go back and pause and screenshot or whatever and stop watching here if you want, because that's probably all you care about from this video. But I'm going to keep going anyway, so humour me if you're still here. So Irvine's killed the Chocobo, and that's basically the best possible result from the Irvine. Him having more forwards than me, I can deal the 7k and kill the big body, even though he got it for free. I kind of sort of removed it for free-ish. But yeah, he keeps the pressure on with the Chocobos, as you kind of have to do, because Chocobos don't really have a board clear, and they don't actually have many ways to close out the game, so to speak. They kind of rely on getting a lot of bodies early and kind of pushing for the damage before your opponent can stabilize or clear them. It's good for him that I'm playing Monofire because I don't have a board clear. However, because I have a lot of mid-range burn effects that can kill off Chocobos. Here I get the Lebro here, which is cool, but as you'll see very shortly, he actually gets the Arc in the same turn, so they basically cancel each other out. But the important thing here is I've got the Lan. Now, Lan is the other card besides March that I think makes Monofire. It gives you a reason to play Monofire, because if his ability was just 2 fire, 2 colorless, he could be played in dual color decks, but unfortunately it needs 3 fire CP, which means it's too much fire CP to use in dual color decks most of the time. So yeah, Monofire makes the most use out of Lan, but he's actually a pretty good card once you have a few backups out, 4 backups especially. You can actually kind of machine gun down these sort of fields, especially when he's 9k with Lebro. There's actually some pretty decent sized forwards you could kind of knock down, because his ability triggers off itself. So if I get an attack through, I can kill 2, maybe even 3 forwards, depending how many cards I want to give up. Here I hit the March EX to match his Sid Haze EX, and I almost see all summons. I have not had that happen yet before, but if that did, that would be very unfortunate. I take the Jack though, because he's got a bunch of guys out, so if he was to kill my Lan, I wouldn't really have a way to clear those, and so I might need the Jack to kind of generate board presence faster once I go to 4 damage, and kind of turn it back a bit. But yeah, as you can see, he does not remove the Lan. So both Iroha and Lan they seem better than they should be in this game, just because Monowind Chocobos in this build, and probably most, don't really have spot removal outside Alexander. Of course, Alexander can hit Lan, but not Iroha. So this is one of the times where Aurora actually shines. Normally she would die and not really get value. So I'm kind of lucky in that respect, opening her up. But yeah, she does help. I like the card quite a bit. With the Lebro buff, she's much better. 8k is much harder to kill than 7k. She does let you trade up really well. She's a really good blocker because she can not only deal more damage on the block, but also add the extra 2k from her ping. So she can block, upwards of 10k-ish forwards. And here we finally see the other key card of a Chocobo deck since Opus 8 is the Warrior of Light, who lets you activate backups when you play standard units, and also gives them buffs when he attacks. So he's really good at pushing a lot of attacks through with a size of a field of mid-range standard units, and also letting you play things really cheaply because you get 2 CP back every time you play one. Especially with stuff like Chocobo Knight, that's very effective because Chocobo Knight also searches another standard unit, which you can then play cheaper as well. This is how you see the Auron that I have in my deck that I lost the damage there. Auron's kind of like the kind of dream that I wish to fulfill, but probably never will. But I gave it a shot putting it in this deck anyway, because I've got the Irvine is a 4 CP backup, and you'll actually see one of my previous spoilers in this deck as well, which I've talked about. It's good with Auron. Now if we get to see Lan do some trades, so because Chocobo gets the buff from Fat Chocobo, it's enough to trade with the Lan, but I get the extra kill on the Warrior of Light, which is important, because if I can keep the Warrior of Light off the field, then he doesn't get the extra value out of his place. And especially now that I have 4 backups, I can kind of keep my board rolling and not really let him get through easily. And this is another time where March is good, and thankfully I reveal Cloud, the best fire card in the game, by a mile, and probably the only reason fire is now playable even outside, dual card decks with fire are actually relevant in the meta now because Cloud's a really, really good card. So yeah, obviously I'll pick that up straight away with the Marsh. Also being able to ping off the mid or small to mid forwards when I've taken a bit of damage will be really helpful. It's really hard for him to push through it. Again, it's just keeping the pressure on, playing Chocobo after Chocobo. I'm just sitting here basically brute forcing through as many as possible. Here I get to block with the March, because the March is not only 6k, he's doing 1k extra because of Iroa's ability, so he's doing 7k. The Chocobo is 7, goes up to 9, so now the Chocobo's got 2k remaining, which Iroa can finish off. This is what I was talking about, where Iroa really lets you block up, and especially something like March, which is kind of weak, he actually gets to trade up to something 9k, which is very large. So here we obviously get to play the Cloud. It's almost never a bad play if you can kill something with it. Even if you can't kill something with it, it's often still a decent play, because a 9k body that comes back for free, so 2 9k bodies basically for 5 CP is insane. Especially by the time he dies, he often gets enough damage to kill something else again, so he's incredibly difficult to trade efficiently with in any means. I think from this point it looks like I'm in a very good position, and I believe I kind of hold this for a bit. But he's got the wall here, so this is another great card if you can support it in your deck, is the Light Wall. So it lets you get to Arc and Warrior of Light especially, but also it lets him splash Luneth for the haste, because haste with Chocobo Knight is very, very good, especially when you have Warrior of Light to make all your Chocobos really cheap, so you can actually get some insane amounts of damage out of nowhere if you have a Luneth out with with the Warrior of Light, and also Wall being a sticky forward to be able to block or pressure with is convenient as well. It's actually a very high value forward, almost as high value as Pain if all its abilities are going off. Unfortunately, I attempt to fulfill my dream of Auron and it gets Alexander straight away, which is unfortunate. So we won't get to be seeing that, but that's just how it goes. We get a bit of a complicated stack here. So he's attacking with Wall, and I'm going to block with Cloud. So at first I didn't realize that my Cloud actually already trades with the Wall, because he buffs it by 3k with the Chocobo, so it goes up to 10. But of course I have Lebro and also Iroa, so Cloud does actually trade with Wall, but because it's his turn, Wall triggers first, then Cloud triggers, but Wall isn't on the Luneth isn't on the field when Cloud triggers, so Cloud can't target Luneth, which means I just have to target Chocobo Knight. Of course, because Cloud killed the Wall, which Chocobo buffed, Chocobo dies as well. That's the drawback of that effect. So now that was a really good trade for me. I cleared 2 forwards and replaced the Wall with the Luneth, which I can now kill with this Balgavin, the card that Kageyama loves. And I think with Iroa in particular makes Balgavin a lot better. If you don't have the Iroa, Balgavin is quite a bit worse, because the 7 to 8k jump is a really big one, as I've talked about before. But in this case, it works out. Like I said, it rolls with not an easy card for him to kill. So now it looks like I've pretty much stabilized into a winning position from here, as long as he doesn't manage to cheese enough damage through. The Warrior of Light will actually let him get out a bunch of forwards again. So he's played the Chocobo with the Chocobo Knight. He's actually running really low on Chocobos at this point. I've killed or gone through all 3 of the 7k and 6k haste giving ones. But now he plays Fire's Arch Nemesis, the forward they literally cannot kill, which is Y'shtola. Fortunately, all my forwards are really large, so it's not as much of a threat as it could be, and I'm not playing Phoenix either, so the Summon Cancel is not as relevant here as it often is against Fire decks. Now, but Gavin gets the free hit because he goes over all those forwards, or Warrior of Light, not necessarily Warrior of Light, but actually no, it does go over Warrior of Light because it's only 8 and Bargavin's 9 thanks to Libro. But what I don't realize here, I actually probably should have played something like Emperor Zand, because I forget that he has Wind deck. He's playing Diablos, so he can actually kill the Cloud, and because I've already revived it once, I can't afford to revive it again, or I'll deck myself out straight away. But Diablos does actually let him get through 2 of my blockers, which is Cloud and Lan, because now Lan is 1k, which means I won't be able to block with it. I mean, I could, but it would be awful. That being said, fortunately, Aroa is a good enough blocker that it can stop that, block that party attack and clear the Warrior Light with it. That's a good 1-for-1 trade. That also means I won't die this turn, and this was the kind of the turn that he needed to get the extra damage in. Now I should be perfectly stable. And if you can see my hand, you can't see my hand, so I should have made it clearer to the camera, but I have an Emperor Zand with a Red Mage to give it haste and brave, which can clear a Chocobo Knight and put another massive body on the field that also is hard for him to deal with efficiently, because even if he kills Diablos or Alexander, it'll kill something, except Y'shtola. And I've got the Lan attacking. So again, Lan is going to theoretically clear some stuff, but in this case he actually cancels my Lan's ability, so obviously I don't actually have to pay. That's one of the good things about Lan, is that his ability, you pay a resolution, so if it gets cancelled I don't have to pay at all. And that's probably, I mean, he doesn't know I have the Ifrit here, but that because he's sacrificed Y'shtola, I can now use the Ifrit to clear his final blocker and deal the 7 damage. That is 7 damage, by the way. Sorry, again, you can't really see the damage there, but yeah. As you can see, that was a pretty straightforward mono fire versus mono wind Chocobo game. Again, it's not such a good matchup for him because he can't clear the stuff like Lan and Aroa as easily as other decks might be able to, especially Aroa. And also I have those kind of mid-range ping effects that let me clear the Chocobos while kind of developing a board. But anyway, you don't care about that. Whatever. Let's talk about Irvine, the spoiler. So there's not much else to say really. Basically what you saw there is the best result for Irvine. That's basically what you're aiming for. Your opponent's kind of pushing you with forward presence. You can play this to hit one of the mid-range forwards, especially Genesis is a really solid target for this. Also Locke, because they will often have other forwards alongside them, so even if you have a forward, you still be able to get the extra 2k. Obviously if they don't have more forwards than you, it's just a bad VV basically. However, it doesn't share the name of VV, which blocks the other VV, so Legend VV is also really good, which you can't play alongside the backup. It's a nice reactive backup for your kind of more control-y mono fire decks, and a lot of people think of mono fire as quite aggro, but there are control elements, and I think some of the better cards it has are kind of geared towards control, like Lan, as I talked about in the video. So it kind of lets you build up your backups while keeping their forward presence down, in a similar way that Jekt might let you generate bodies quicker if you've taken a bunch of damage early because you've been generating backups. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and thanks to Good Games Adelaide for giving us a space to play whenever we want. We're always having friendlies. We've even been doing drafts recently, which has been awesome. They actually do cheaper packs for us to let us draft and do a red draft at the end. So yeah, head down to your local game store if you're ever interested in playing. It's really fun, and thanks for watching everyone. Thanks to all my supporters as usual. Without you, it wouldn't be possible to get these spoilers. Cheers for that. Enjoy.